Good morning or good afternoon to all, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Shelley Horn, and I'm a CPQ product specialist at Infor. I have over 18 years of experience working with CPQ solutions, and I'll be your host today. I have been helping industrial manufacturers increase their sales, differentiate their brands, and decrease their costs over the years. And my specific areas of expertise are in assisting customers recognize business value in the areas of sales, customer service, and order management. And with me today is John Shook. He's a principal business solution consultant, and he has over 13 years of experience working with CPQ solutions. John has extensive experience identifying, architecting, and delivering CPQ solutions for numerous customers. His current focus is helping potential customers identify and understand the value of CPQ within their organization, and John has previously worked in professional services and product management within the Infor CPQ solution. So here's today's agenda. John will be talking about the CPQ market space and its value in the marketplace, and I'll be talking about the value Infor CPQ brings and the benefits that customers have received. We'll also have some time at the end for questions and answers, so please submit them via the question and answer panel within WebEx. You click on the field that's available for your question, and then you simply hit send. You can also click on the hand raise icon and let us know that you have a question. However, we're going to be holding all questions for the end of the presentation, and we're going to get to as many of them as time allows. So if for some reason we don't get to your question today, we'll follow up with you directly following today's webinar. Also, on the left side of your panel on the WebEx screen, you'll see two arrows that point away from each other, and this option will allow you to convert to full screen to make it easier to view. And then one last housekeeping item, we are recording this session, and you will receive an email with a link to the presentation and the recording from Infor within a few days. So with that, I am going to turn it over to John, and he's going to provide a CPQ market space overview.
Great, thanks Shelley. Appreciate the introduction. So let's get started with a market definition of CPQ. The traditional view of CPQ is just that: configure it, price it, and quote it. For many of you, these processes may already exist within your organization today, but I would bet that they're probably not automated. They may rely on multiple technologies, things like Excel, Word, or multiple configuration solutions. And they may not be integrated with CRM or with ERP applications. And they also may be departmentally siloed. The other thing with this definition is that it's also very incomplete. So we take a look at Infor's definition of CPQ, expanding on the traditional view of CPQ to include fulfillment activities, and that's the manufacturing and delivering of quoted products and services to the end customer. To further expand the typical definition of CPQ, let's take a moment to unpack each of these steps in the process. With Infor CPQ, we provide you the ability to configure more than just products, but also configure systems of products and your services. Pricing is not just to the end consumer, but also to calculate cost, margins, discounts, and price adders, all to drive dynamic pricing models. And quoting is not just about generating a document. It also addresses the need to enable self-service quoting across all sales channels with web-enabled tools that efficiently manages simple and complex quoting requirements. And then finally, extending the traditional CPQ definition is the fulfillment activity, where we are automating the quote-to-order conversion process to drive manufacturing requirements to the shop floor, while also providing the same powerful configuration experience within your ERP system to manage orders and order changes. So why should Infor CPQ, or why should CPQ in general, matter to you? Here are a few numbers to think about: 100%, negative 27%, and 26%. What do you think these numbers represent? Well, they speak to driving top-line revenue by providing your sales folks and sales channels the ability to create larger deals, 104% increase in the average deal size, as well as to close deals faster, with a 27% decrease in the sales cycle, driving additional revenue for your company. That's a 26% increase in reps achieving quota. These are numbers based on an Aberdeen study that show the effectiveness of using CPQ solutions within your organization. And then finally, one other reference point from Aberdeen is that we can see organizations that utilize CPQ solutions are performing about 30% more effectively in converting their quotes to orders. So with that backdrop, let's take a look at why N4 CPQ. And for that discussion, I'll turn it over to Shelley.
Thanks, John. So before I get started, I'd like to let a few of our customers speak for us. Clicker is a window and door manufacturer. They've been a customer for many years, about 15, and they talk about how N4 CPQ drives continued and steady growth year after year. In fact, they have doubled their annual revenues over the last 10 years, and because they sell exclusively through dealers, the best CPQ solution is a must for them. Seneca is a manufacturer of PCs and servers, and they talk about how their costs have been reduced by eliminating errors, returns, and rework. And Huttig is a building products distributor with 27 locations, and they credit N4 CPQ for differentiating themselves in the market by making them easier to do business with in the eyes of their customer. N4 CPQ addresses tough customer challenges like flat or declining sales, increasing costs, or brand commoditization. So if your products are hard to sell, or maybe your reps aren't as productive as they should be, perhaps your product introductions are slow. Those are the types of things that can lead to flat or declining sales. If you have a lot of order errors, maybe there's a lot of duplication of effort or manual activities, those are the types of things that lead to an increase in cost. And if you have long lead times or inconsistent service, that can lead to brand commoditization. So N4 CPQ addresses these tough customer challenges with a complete solution, delivering on those benefits that John talked about in the Aberdeen study to hundreds of organizations like yours. So N4 CPQ helps discrete manufacturers design, market, sell, make, and deliver those configurable products. And at the center of the solution is our enterprise configurator. And that allows you to make it easy to select and quickly configure your products. The configurator is surrounded by a set of applications which provide advanced capabilities. And these capabilities include the sales portal. And this extends the power of the configurator to your internal or external sales channels. That can be dealers, distributors, manufacturing reps. But what it does is it makes them more self-sufficient and able to offer a superior customer experience to their customer. Document automation enables you to assemble and deliver complete, accurate, personalized proposals and other documentations every time and in minutes. And finally, design automation enables you to include auto-generated CAD files and drawings as part of your sales and manufacturing processes. So all of these capabilities offer considerable value to your organization, but that value is further amplified when it's connected to your enterprise systems such as ERP, CRM, and CAD. So N4 CPQ addresses tough customer challenges with a complete solution that provides robust capabilities, and there are many. And we could talk about them all day and all day tomorrow. However, I'm going to highlight 5 today. We're going to talk about the easy configuration of complex products, the multi-channel quoting and ordering, dynamic images, drawings, and models, compelling proposals, and anytime, anywhere access. So let's talk more about those. N4 CPQ makes it very easy for the user to select and configure complex products and systems because it has a very powerful and visually appealing experience. This is an example of how a gearbox manufacturer has used a variety of different techniques to guide the user to the right product, whether that be through images, radio buttons, or drop-down boxes. But more importantly, it ensures that only valid options can be selected. And you can even set it up to include additional features, options, or accessories to upsell to the customer. N4 CPQ provides a manufacturer-branded, self-service selling portal that empowers all of your selling channels. Again, this is inside sales, outside sales, regional managers, dealers, distributors, manufacturer reps, contract engineers, but it provides them all with that ability to configure, price, quote, and order products for themselves or for their customer. This is a big differentiator for Infor CPQ in the marketplace because we have a very powerful visualization capability, and it supports the selling and manufacturing experience both. So that could be static or these look-alike images like you see with the bicycle. They could be automated or real-time rendered images like you can see with the fabrics and the colors changing on the chairs. Or we can provide dynamic 2D drawing or assembled 3D CAD models, as you can see here with the door and the gearbox. So these capabilities can be used to provide visual confirmation of what the user has selected, in addition to being able to be used downstream in the manufacturing processes. Infor CPQ can automatically assemble a whole variety of documents that the user needs to form a complete and accurate proposal. So on a case-by-case basis, any user can select what they want to include. That could be things like a cover letter, spec sheets, warranty information, pricing, terms and conditions, models, marketing collateral, contracts, and on and on. So really it's endless, and we'll talk about how this delivers real value a little further in the presentation. So whether you or your selling channels are working at their desks, they're on the road, or they're side by side with a customer, Infor CPQ is accessible anytime, anywhere, on any device. So your sales folks and your selling channels are not reliant on you being in the office from 9 to 5 in order to conduct business. We believe that we have the best product in the market. And why is that? It's fast, it's easy, it's complete, it's modern, and it provides a great user experience. So it's fast because it facilitates rapid configurations, modifications, and changes. It's easy because it's tailored for every individual user within your selling channel, and their needs are very different sometimes. It's very complete because it models all of your product knowledge, not just some. It's modern because it's built on a standards-based technology platform. And it provides a great user experience because all of the information that the user needs is in one place. And it is complete, and it can be a solution that meets all of your needs. That could be in engineering, marketing, sales, or manufacturing. So from an engineering perspective, you get 2D and 3D design automation. It's based on standards templates, and it can help you automate your specials handling. From a marketing perspective, you get a consistent product presentation, and it's delivered to multiple sales channels. For sales, you get fast and easy quotes, and you get personalized proposals. And of course, manufacturing will get the accurate bills, routings, and shop orders that they need to conduct business. Infor CPQ is designed to work with your systems, whether that's ERP, CRM, CAD, or even having CPQ connected to your corporate website or other selling solutions that you might have developed in-house. Alrighty, so we're going to take a quick breath and we're going to recap what we've covered so far. We've talked about how Infor CPQ can allow you to design, market, sell, make, and deliver your complex configurable products. It helps you address tough customer challenges like declining sales, increasing costs, and brand commoditization. It does this with a complete solution that provides robust capabilities, and that's going to drive real value for you. And it's going to drive it by increasing your sales, reducing your costs, and differentiating your brand. Infor CPQ will increase your sales because when you're quoting in minutes and not days, that's more quotes for your business. When you're consistently cross-selling and upselling, it results in larger orders. Faster new product introductions allow you to grow market share. And a complete personalized proposal every time will lead to a better win rate. N4 CPQ will help you reduce your costs because you'll have fewer returns because of the self-service quoting and ordering. You'll have less scrap and rework because you'll receive the correct manufacturing information every time. You'll be able to optimize your head count because you'll be eliminating those non-value-added activities and reorganizing those folks to provide real value to your organization. And you'll reduce the duplication of effort because your systems will work together. And N4 CPQ will differentiate your brand because providing fast and easy-to-use tools make it easier to do business with you. Offering a superior buying experience results in more customer loyalty. Anytime you can shorten that quote to delivery time will lead to faster product turnaround, and having more product options available supports your efforts to meet an increasing set of customer demands. So N4 CPQ drives real value and delivers real results for our customers. And I wanted to talk about some examples. Gorman-Rupp is a pump manufacturer. They've also been a long-time CPQ user. And they've increased their sales year after year by speeding those new product introductions. And in the last 4 or 5 years, they added the document automation capability, and they were able to reduce the time that it took to deliver a comprehensive proposal from 3 weeks to 15 minutes. That's the real value and the real results that they have achieved. Great Plains is an industrial agricultural implement company, and they compete with the likes of John Deere. And what they've been able to do is decrease their costs by eliminating the need to hire more customer service representatives to keep up with the increase in their sales volumes. So over a 10-year period, Great Plains sales volumes increased 5 times, and they had to hire no one. Those are some real results that we're proud to talk about. Salux is a lighting manufacturer. Their lights light up the 9/11 Memorial in New York City. And they have significantly improved their agents' productivity by ensuring that 100% of the orders are accurate every time. And think about the downstream effects that that has, because as part of that process, Salux also reduced the amount of manual effort that they spend internally supporting all of that quoting and ordering. Wausau has a little different model, very similar to Huddig. They are a building products distributor. And so brand differentiation is very important because often their products are commoditized and it's hard for them to hold their margin. So they credit CPQ for offering that superior customer service to their customers, so when a customer comes up to the counter, they can immediately and instantly confirm those orders. N4 CPQ delivers real value with the real results that we just talked about and provides real returns. So the value of the increase in sales plus the reduction in cost divided by that investment typically leads to a 5 to 8 time return on that investment for our customers over a 5-year period. Taking that a step further, our team can help you build a return on investment model to present to your business leaders. We'll work with you to very clearly articulate the challenges that you're facing. We'll document the specific areas of improvement, and we'll work with you to quantify the benefits to your organization. So what you're all wondering is, well, how do we do that? When we build our return on investment model, we consider the impact on sales if you can generate more quotes, improve those win rates, and increase deal size. So how much can you generate more quotes if you have more time to quote because of the anytime, anywhere access to the tools on any device? You can generate more quotes when you have more people quoting. And that's enabled by the self-service capabilities with little dependency on engineering and sales support. You can generate more quotes by making the quoting process faster because you're going to provide a very intuitive and efficient quoting tool. One example that I can think of off the top of my head is a trailer company that we've worked with. And in their process, they have anywhere from 5 to 30 quote revisions during an average sales cycle. And so it took previously about 2 days for each of those cycles to happen. So if there were 30 cycles, it took 60 days. So there was significant value for them to be able to cut that time that it took for those revisions. So imagine what the rate of return would be if you cut that from 2 days to 15 minutes or 2 days to an hour. So significant value there. How much can you improve your win rates? If you're offering the products the customers want, because you can tailor your products to meet the specific and changing customer demands, that's going to help you improve those win rates by making sellers more effective, enabled by quick and accurate responses to customer requests with compelling product information behind it. And you can improve those win rates by creating a better buying experience, and that's because you are providing a personalized customer proposal every time that can include product, pricing, and engineering information. So many of our customers tell us over and over that whoever provides the quote first that's accurate wins the business. So those are the types of things that we help you quantify through that process. How much can you increase deal size? If you're increasing the upselling every time, and that's enabled by making sure that all the right features are suggested at exactly the right time. You can do that by improving cross-selling, and that's enabled by offering your complete product catalog during that quoting process. No longer will reps and your selling channels have to look through multiple different catalogs or multiple different spreadsheets to make sure that they get all the information. And you can do that by reducing those discounts, which are going to be enabled by calculating accurate costs and dynamic pricing. One example that comes to mind from an upselling perspective is a locker manufacturer that we've been involved with recently. And they have a few of their distributors that routinely forget to include locks when they're selling the lockers. It may help them win the deal because it makes the quote lower, or it appears lower. But then sometimes you have an unhappy customer who didn't get everything that they needed. They only got part of what they needed. Or the distributor and the customer and the manufacturer have to decide how it is that they're going to split up eating that margin. And so that's cross-selling and that upselling. By putting that in and building that into the solution, you're going to avoid those types of mistakes. There are a lot of benefits around cost reduction as well. So we will consider the impact on reducing costs in the areas of reducing pricing errors, reducing rework and scrap, and optimizing that headcount. So how much can you reduce those pricing errors? By presenting valid prices, enabled by defining a single source for your pricing. It's got system-generated cost, price, and margin calculations. By handling all of your pricing scenarios. And that's enabled by being able to define very intelligent and flexible pricing structures within Infor CPQ. And by always providing current pricing enabled by immediate availability to pricing changes. I've seen this time and time again where manufacturers provide different spreadsheets or desktop applications to their customers, and oftentimes their customers or their selling channels have their own spreadsheets and their own list of things. It's very difficult to keep those immediate pricing changes up to date through a process like that with disconnected tools. And so often what we see is a real increase in the cost associated with order errors because the pricing is incorrect. There's been a pricing increase or a pricing change, and the selling channel is still using the old pricing. So it gets back into that area where costs are going up, and somebody's going to have to figure out who eats that margin or who eats that cost. How much can you reduce returns, rework, and scrap? By ensuring the right product is always selected, because you're only presenting valued options in the combination of products. by giving complete product specifications, and that's because you're providing product collateral and specifications during the configuration process, and by generating current manufacturing information enabled by providing manufacturing and engineering changes that are available immediately to the shop floor. And then how can we optimize headcount? You can optimize headcount by eliminating manual and redundant work enabled by having your systems working together. You can do it by automatically creating all the needed information, enabled by automatically generating accurate proposals, bills of materials, routings, drawings, and work instructions. And you can also make those end users more self-sufficient by providing self-service tools for quoting, ordering, and status inquiry. A really great example on that is order status. We've heard from many of our manufacturers that they have some CSRs that spend 30% of their day doing nothing but answering order status questions. The customer calls in, they ask what time or what day the product's going to be delivered, the customer service rep answers the question, and the phone call's over. But they spend 30% of their day doing that. So through the automated capabilities, through N4 CPQ, that can be eliminated. And then what we do through our benefit model is we help you determine where it is that we're going to recognize those benefits. So before we wrap up today, I'd like to leave you with some additional examples of benefits that specific customers have received. Pango Attachments is a division of IES, or International Equipment Solutions, and they manufacture augers, and they also sell through dealers and OEMs. They credit N4 CPQ with increasing the quantity of quotes, but also improving the timeliness in delivering them because they have dramatically reduced the amount of engineering time required to produce them. In fact, Pango has achieved a 33% reduction in quote time that requires engineering assistance, which allows their engineers to focus on new product introduction, as well as it makes the customers happy because they're getting the quotes to them more quickly. Lippert is an RV and chassis supplier who was able to implement their first major product line in about 60 days. N4 CPQ has helped them reduce their product model development time by at least 25%, and it has virtually eliminated their order errors. Plastimade manufactures pool liners and safety covers. They had nearly 20 years of product design and quoting knowledge. They were very concerned how was it that they were going to get that information into a tool that could help them sell better. They were able to embed all of that information into the configurator, into a guided selling platform within 6 months. And that has allowed them to accelerate the introduction of their new products, as well as reduce the time that it takes to train their sales staff. So by putting all of that information in a very intuitive and guided selling system and process, they can more quickly train new employees. Hammond Power Solutions is the largest manufacturer of dry-type transformers, say that fast 3 times, in North America, and they sell through distributors. They have some interesting challenges because there are some new regulatory requirements in their industry. So because of those, Hammond has to add configurations more rapidly than ever to maintain compliance. So N4 CPQ's ability to quickly add those new offerings is a critical requirement. And not only does it drive increased sales because they're able to do it more quickly than their competition, but it also helps differentiate them in general from a brand perspective. They have millions of configurations that are supported. They have over 2,000 users to date, and they're producing over 48,000 quotes every year. Overhead Door is a global manufacturer of commercial and residential garage doors, and they're over $1 billion in annual revenue. Because they sell through dealers, having a superior CPQ tool is critical for brand differentiation in their market. They also have millions of configurations that are supported, 14 product lines, and an average of 300 components within each one. For them, the ability as a global company to roll out the solution to multiple languages and currencies is very important. And that's going to include English, Portuguese, Spanish, Arabic, Japanese, and French. Everglades Direct makes promotional items like trophies and recognition awards. And N4 CPQ has helped them reduce the customer service training requirements, which allows them to better support more seasonal staffing. Very important for them. It can't take longer to train someone than that seasonality time frame lasts. They've also accelerated their order turnaround time and improved their order quality because they get the right information in the right place at the right time, every time. And finally, XI Doors is a company based in the Netherlands, and they manufacture residential doors, and they believe that a CPQ solution is of equal or more importance to their business than their ERP system because they sell exclusively through hundreds of channel partners, and not just one type of channel partner, but they sell through dealers, distributors, contractors, and architects who all have very different requirements. Their products have thousands of options. They support French, Dutch, German, and English channel partners that quote in euros. And they credit N4 CPQ for differentiating them in the market by being able to rapidly deploy their solution in additional languages and currencies. So here are some next steps. First, call your N4 account executive. We'll work with him or her and you to determine your firm's potential return on investment using a very straightforward model that can help you evaluate the investment in CPQ. You can click on the link that you'll receive in the presentation for a complete demonstration of the solution from start to finish. You can also click on the link to our website to learn more about the overall capabilities and results. You can come see us at one of the upcoming N4 Next events. We're going to be in Houston, September 9th and 10th, Chicago, September 30th and October 1st, and San Diego in October 14th and 15th. You can also attend the next session in this webinar series, which is going to happen on Tuesday, October 27th at 1 p.m., and we're going to focus on achieving real results with CPQ. So we're going to open it up for questions now. And as I mentioned earlier, you can submit these questions via the question and answer panel within WebEx. You simply just click on the field that's available for the question and hit send. And if we do not get to your question today, then we will follow up with you directly following today's webinar.
Okay, Shirley, I'll give you a chance to take a little rest there. Thanks for the presentation today.
Sure.
Very well received. I have a few questions that we'll get started with. The first question here was, have you seen CPQ used to configure and sell service offerings versus a manufactured product? The answer to that is absolutely yes. While many of the examples we may have referenced today are related to a manufacturer that is producing a product, and that, again, traditionally you may consider a CPQ solution in the context of a discrete manufacturer, absolutely the N4 CPQ solution can extend far beyond just configuring products. It can also support providing services, and not just that services that could be standalone in terms of a service type of an industry, but also services that may support the selling of your product. It may be related to installation, setup, tear down, etc. So the configurator in and of itself provides you a platform to model many of your business processes, whether, again, that they're product related in terms of features and options, whether they're pricing related, whether it's related to the ability to assemble the correct type of a document, as well as to provide the correct types of services with the correct rates associated with the various types of services that you're providing. So the answer to that question is a definitive yes. You can certainly use N4 CPQ to sell service offerings as well as products.
We also have a question that says, what were the specific enhancements that cut the quoting time down in the example with 30 quote revisions? The short answer is there were no enhancements. However, What we did was we enhanced the process by modeling all of that information into the Infor CPQ solution. So that particular customer had spreadsheets all over the place, and whenever there were changes that were more what we would consider a standard configuration, they had to run all through the plant and find someone in engineering and go down through and first figure out what the cost was going to be before they could quote that option. And so most of the time being cut down was simply because their systems and processes were not integrated. So by modeling that information into Infor CPQ, they're able to cut down that amount of time.
All right, we have another question here as well. The question is, can our customers self-quote, or would the sales rep run the quote? And the answer to that is yes. It's actually both. So yes, your customers can could quote for themselves, or your sales reps can provide the quote. So it's really your decision in terms of how you would like to deploy the Infor CPQ solution. Many times we see it deployed internally first with the sales reps being able to kind of work through the process, and then also being able to then engage with the customers of theirs to help them understand how to use the tool. So certainly internal usage as well as external usage, and that's where the value really comes into play, is as you begin to start allowing your customers to self-service their quotes, then you start to enable your internal resources to focus more on building those relationships and also some innovation in the processes to allow with the extra time that they have available to them versus having to go through every quoting step in the process. And a follow-on question to that was, where do the images come from? And again, as we think about the Infor CPQ solution and the various types of images that can be provided, whether they're static images, photorealistic images, which would entail some texture mapping, 2D drawings, as well as 3D models. Those are all things that you would provide as the system provider, if you will, for the Infor CPQ. As you go through your implementation and you go through your setup, you would decide to what level of visualization needs do you require for your sales process as well as for your manufacturing process. And then you would supply those images as well as the CAD models accordingly. All right, for one other question here, I'll go ahead and address the next question here is, for order notifications, would customers be notified of any back orders or specials and the potential for the ETA? And so that relates to our status inquiry capability and the ability to leverage data that's being managed within the ERP solution. And so we provide a really flexible platform that will allow you to really provide any type of information back to the users that you think would be necessary. So out of the box, you'll have some pretty standard order status information. If you wanted to supplement that with back order notifications and or the ETAs of when they could expect delivery and or potentially to automate any of that, that certainly would be something that could be provided as part of the implementation.
Okay, the next question is, what is the upgrade path from the MPC configurator used with the Infor visual system to Infor CPQ? And I apologize that neither John or I are product managers, and so we can't answer it. We also get into some trouble when we do because things do change from time to time. So we'll follow up with you on that after. Let's see, the next question is, how is complex pricing algorithms in CPQ integrated with pricing in the ERP system used to generate invoices? Our product prices change daily due to the high cost of precious metals used in them. John?
Yeah, sure, I'll take that. That's a really good question, and it's a really nice capability of the Infor CPQ solution in that we're able to very seamlessly integrate, and maybe not even integrate, it's a little bit of an overstatement in terms of the ease in which we can pull data from various business systems. So whether it's the ERP system, whether it's some other custom-built application, maybe it's a CRM application as well, is that in the configuration model, you're able to very easily make calls out to those other systems to be able to then pull back the information that's necessary, whether it's from a pricing perspective or from, a features and options and configuration perspective. So that's a native capability to make those calls and to be able to very quickly have access to information that is managed where it belongs, and that you do not have to replicate all of your data into the configurator. You can leverage the data as it exists, where it exists today, providing you the flexibility to really think through what is the best way to optimize your data maintenance. Okay, I have one other question here. Is the CPQ solution able to be integrated via APIs to other business applications? And the answer is yes, absolutely, especially from a configuration standpoint. As I was looking through the list here, there was another question related to integrating the Infor CPQ configurator into a web page. And so we provide a very robust API that allows you to very seamlessly integrate the applications, the Infor CPQ application into your other business applications as well. So definitely something that's provided as part of the software.
And there's one more question here. Does Infor CPQ have to be integrated with an ERP system? And the answer is absolutely not. So interestingly enough, we've had prospects that are looking at both an ERP and a CPQ solution at the same time. Some of them have opted to start with a CPQ solution. So like we talked about with XI Doors, in many cases that CPQ solution is really what drives their whole entire business because it determines how they sell and how well they sell. So certainly from a CPQ perspective, we can set that up standalone outside of the ERP system. However, we can also connect it to the ERP system. CPQ and ERP projects can be done in conjunction. There are all kinds of different things that we can do. So the CPQ solution is very powerful and flexible, but it can also be implemented in multiple stages, so you don't have to do everything at once or even up front. So we have some customers who will say, our biggest pain right now is getting those quotes turned around, specifically for ones that are that 80% that never convert to an order. And we want to spend all of this valuable time on these quotes that don't convert. We want to spend all of our time on the more valuable quotes or the ones where we have the most margins or some of those specials. And so what happens oftentimes is we're building pricing and selling rules, and we don't worry about manufacturing rules until a later phase. And so I think that wraps up all the questions that we have. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy days to join us and learn about Infor CPQ and how you can achieve a return on investment. Thank you.